Hello, everyone. So, this week we're going to start a new era in British literature. So, for the last 5 weeks, we've been going through Romanticism. When we started with the early Romantics with Wordsworth and Coleridge, and we finished up with Shelley, Keats, and Byron. So, now we're going to start a new era, which is called the Victorian era. And that is named after Queen Victoria, who ruled for about 63 years, I think it was. She had been the longest reigning monarch in English history until Queen Elizabeth II broke that record in 2015. So, she is now Queen Elizabeth II is now the longest reigning monarch in British history, and doesn't look like she's going to stop anytime soon. But Victoria had ruled from about 1837 to 1901 when her death happened. So, if you're watching this video, now you know the answer to the first question. Queen Victoria was the Queen of England during the Victorian period. So, we're going to open up with Alfred Lord Tennyson. He wrote poetry for about 50 years, and when you think about the Victorian poetry, you have to include Tennyson in that discussion. He was poet laureate, which is like the chief poet of England for many, many years. So, what we're going to read this week is we're going to read Ulysses, and we're going to read The Lady of Shalott. And in both cases, these are new takes on old stories. So The Lady of Shalott is Alfred Lord Tennyson's new take on a minor character in the King Arthur legends. So in this story, also pay attention not only the fact that she sees Sir Lancelot and she falls in love and she ends up dying, but also think about how this poem is it addresses the issue of loss of innocence. So, here's this girl who's been sheltered in this castle forever and ever. She's not allowed to go outside. She sees a handsome man, and all of a sudden now she's going to, live a little bit. And in the process of living a little bit, she dies, which is kind of a metaphor for her innocence dies. So, that's Lady of Shalott. And then you got Ulysses, which is based upon the Odyssey, which was a epic poem by Homer. In that poem, Ulysses is on a journey home from the Trojan War after the Greeks had defeated the Trojans. Only it takes him 20 years to get back because he goes off on all these adventures. He gets captured by Circe, and he has to fight the Cyclops and get by the Hydra. And there's all kinds of issues here. So Ulysses picks up after he's already made it home. He's an old man now. His wife, who was beautiful when he went to war, is now 20-something years older. And so, she's aged a little bit. His son is a full-grown man, ready to take over ruling the homeland there. And so Ulysses decides that he needs to go off and have more adventures, even if it means that he's going to die on the next adventure. So, He's bored with being the king at home. He belongs on the ocean. He belongs fighting monsters. So he gathers up some people. He gives a speech, and they're about to go off. And then, of course, he turns his island, which is Ithaca, over to Telemachus, his son, and says, "Here, it's all yours." So anyway, so these are new takes. So what I've done this week, I've got a reader response question where you address, how one of those poems is a new take on an old legend. And that may mean doing some research on your part to get familiar with the stories that they're based on, but that's okay as long as you don't plagiarize. So that'll be fine. And then for your discussion, I was going to make this a project for everybody to do, but then I decided, I don't think everybody's going to like it. Plus, it's probably not going to. Well, anyway, the logistics were hard to figure out too. So, this wasn't a project that you could have done in a single week. So I made it a discussion question instead. And what I've done is I've asked the question, what is your favorite spinoff? So like a television program is successful, then one of the minor characters creates their own show, and so it's a spinoff. And television's been doing that, and movies have been doing that ever since, cameras have been rolling, right? So, and then I answered the question, and I cheated a little bit. I chose two. I chose The Mandalorian from the Star Wars universe, and I chose Cobra Kai, which is, a long ago sequel to The Karate Kid. And so I did that to give you an idea of what I'm looking for in these discussions. So name your favorite spinoff, maybe give a little background information on it for those of us that might not be as familiar with it as you are, and then go ahead and explain why you like it so much. So that's this week. Don't forget to take the Victorian quiz, and a lot of those questions are coming out of the introduction. That's going to require both the PowerPoint and the introduction from the textbook. So I've pulled questions from both of those to familiarize yourself with the Victorian era, and so that you'll understand the differences between Victorian work and the Romantics that we just finished reading and talking about. So if you have any questions, feel free to email me, and I will have your other work graded and returned to you soon.